Okay, so our objective is to write a program that converts dates from numerical to string format. Okay, so what do we want to call this class? Let me create a new class. What do you want to call it? Date converter? Okay, I'm going just to use this to put them in the same package, or I can just put them in an empty package. It doesn't matter. Let me put them in a package. Week 10, exercise 2. So now this class converter, what it should do, it should convert from a numerical day, month, year to a text. So how would you do that? So I have the class. I'm going to get variables. Which variables? Private. What? Day. Int. Day. And then same thing with month and year. Okay. And then having a constructor. Okay, what does the constructor what will the constructor do? Code. Do you want to initialize those? So we can put the values and then we can initialize them. What is this? No. Let's insert the getters and setters. Select them all. Generate. Now we have the getters and setters. Let's override the toString and then we can probably put this into toString. Well, how about that? The toString should return the conversion of these. So this is return the date, converted date. So how do I do that? So let's say I'm going to do this kind of convert. This toString returns convert. What is convert? Well, it's a method that I would like to, that will return a string and is going to convert whatever date I have into. So I'm going to do something, let's say string returned value. The returned value is going to be something that I'm going to be returning at the end. I'm going to do the sum returned value. Something like this. So in between I have to put something in this returned value based on the values that I'm here and raise some exception, etc., etc. Now without raising any exception of any kind, what would be the way for me just to convert? And this is the very important step for you to start your program with. We're not going to be solving the whole program at once, but try to make it step by step. The first step that is easier for you, well, at least it sounds easy, maybe it looks easy to just do the conversion regardless of the exception handling. So how do I convert that? Just the month, because the year and the day, these are the same numbers, because here this will always give you the same thing. What changes from these are just the month, which is the month that has the word of the month, not just the numbers. So we can make a switch statement or an if or if else if, whatever. So what do you want to do? Switch what? Tell me. I'm just listening. I'm your hands. Switch one. I'm just would like to have a switch. Oh, it doesn't help me. Okay, it's not generated for me. Okay, switch what? Month. Case 1. Set month. But month is a number.
Set January.
Set what?
January.
But what do you mean set January? You can just set January? What is set January? Is it a method?
Set month. Set month, then January.
But hold on. Set month is taking a number that is an int as an argument. How are you going to be putting set month to text? Well, you want to parse what? You want to convert what to a text? How can you convert 1 to January? Or January to 1? I don't know what you're trying to do. Tell me what to type.
The program did not understand that the first month is January.
No.
So I have to enter it now.
Yes. So how can you make the program understand that 1 is January?
Okay, the first month is equal to January.
What do you mean the first month? The program understands variables, take this, put it here, take this, put it there. We need to make a new variable, that's what's important. Because this text that you would like to save, it has to go somewhere. And actually, I'm having something here, but I don't care for now. String month, but then I have already a month there. So I need to distinguish between the two. Which one is which? Some month text, for example, I don't know. How about this? Now you can say the month, the text of the month, or maybe the is equal to January. But you're not gonna just put January like this flying in the sky because you would like to that the computer understand for you that January is 1. So you have to put these into some variables somehow, and then you can deal with those variables later. Now let's rename this to something like text of the month, which makes more sense. And then I can do the same 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you get it. Just February. May. June. July. August. September. November. October. Yalla, October. November. December. We're just eager to finish quickly, but you did not want me to finish quickly. And then here you go. We got the month. Then, are we done? Default. Well, whatever. We can put. What do you want to put in default? Text month equals something?
Maybe we can put December.
Let's just remove anything. Okay, we don't need it really. When we need it, we find what to do with it, we put it. Let's just keep things simple now. This is what we need. If we see something that is required, we'll add it. Now, what's next? Are we done?
No. Convert the day and the month to text.
Now convert the day and month to text. And the day and year to text. Which means I just need to return value is equal to the day plus the text of the month plus the year. But
Why is text of month? You enter the
what do you want to display? The month, the number, or the month, the text?
no the month the text.
So then this is going to be returning the month, the text.
Why it's error?
Okay, now the question is what's error? But before you said why is it text month? So you agree now it's text month because you flipped. You agreed without even telling us. Just why is this telling us? Read the error message. Variable text month might not have been initialized. What does this mean?
We didn't make it variable.
This is the variable.
We need to initialize it.
We need to initialize it. We need to put a value inside of it. Why? Because maybe the month might be a value which is not one of any one of those, and then we have to use it. Or if I don't want to initialize it here, this is where the default comes in handy. Default. Then I'm just going to put text month is equal to empty. Now it's not going to complain because in case none of these 1 to 12 numbers were given, then I know what to do. This is going to be text month empty, and then this is always going to be something that's going to be okay. Happy? Yes?
But after the day and the year are numbers.
Yes. What happens if I add a text with a number?
Oh.
A number with a text, the result is text. Add to it another number, that's still a text. So that's why I can do something like this. Or you can just declare variables, make the conversions, and then add the text. But this is a shortcut. And we need another shortcut because we don't want things to be cramped into one word. We want some spaces between these, so we put a space. Okay? Shall we try it? Question? No questions? Everybody's happy? I'm going to create a new class just with the main because I would like to test it differently. Now this date converter, new date converter, but I need to give it a name, and then I need to put some numbers because this takes 3 numbers, 1, 10, 2017, whatever. This is going to be what? So if I call DC, this DC now is going to call which method? ToString. If I call the ToString, let's find ToString. Where's my ToString? This is a ToString. The ToString is going to call convert. What does convert do? These type of things that you just made me write, and it's going to return that text here. Okay? So now if I execute, yes, that's the one. 1 October 2017. How about that? Nice?
Yes, but the question asks for more.
No, that's good. What if now I type 101 October 2017? This still going to accept it. Or 101 2017, which should be the month should be empty, but the rest is going to be displayed. So now we need to do some kind of, we don't want these kind of numbers to be acceptable. So we would like to be dealing with some exceptions. Let's just start with the day, okay? And to make our life easier, we don't want to have any, or maybe let's start with the month, because month is much easier. There's no exceptions. There's no 28 or 29 depending on the year. Is it a leap year or not? Just the month. The month is from 1 to 12. If I put -10 as a number, this is acceptable, but it should not. It should raise some exception. It should just not accept it like this, because this is what it said. Is that if the user enters anything other than a legal month, your program will throw and catch a month exception and ask the user to re-enter the month. So, well, actually, asking the user to enter something means we need to use some scanner. We did not use that because we just put the values ourselves, right? So now we can maybe ask the user to put something. So how, you remember the scanner, right? Long time we haven't seen it. Scanner, scanner with the control space, the import is also coming. Or KB, okay, because you're so used to that, you don't even, and then system.in. You see, mashallah, but with the time, so many times you typed it, you just memorize it. And then
object KB.
import, we did it.
No. No, we have to use the object for.
Yes, dig in the memory and then you're going to find something.
What's the variable we use it for the?
For the what?
We have to use the variable then.
Which variable?
That we
Date converter variable?
Yes, that we need to enter the value we enter.
Uh,
It's in the class.
What do you want to do? I don't understand what you would like to do. You would like to do what?
Can we do KB does next int in the constructor?
In the constructor? Yes, we could. We could just in the constructor ask the user to give us this. And then instead of having this here, we should then have it here in the constructor. But then the constructor, not this one, because this constructor you give it some values, so it just takes the values and save them. Maybe you're going to put some date converter without any argument, and in case you don't have any arguments, you would like to have them given to you by the user. And then what I was looking for you to tell me is that I need to display something. Enter. You just opened your book at the right page. Okay, but well, this is not what I would like to do, because generally the constructor is not the place when you're going to be reading something from the keyboard, and because you have to do some verification if you want to read them from the keyboard. So it's better to take them out of the constructor. So I'm going to put them back here, and then what I'd like you to understand is that I need to prepare the variables where to store whatever the user is going to type, and then I'm going to send them into the constructor of the class.
The variable you will use.
So I'm going to declare a new set of variables, and then one for the day, one for the month, and one for the year. And then I'm going to first of all ask the user enter a day, or just without the ln, and then I'm going to have a declaration of the day equal now the kb.next next int, right? Okay,
And now for the month and
copy and paste, and we have the month and the year. Month, year, and then instead of just putting the values there, I'll put the variables. Now let's try it again. Enter the day, the month, the year, and it gives me something. Let me make you realize one thing. What if I do something like this?
text from the program.
Enter day. Yes, this is my day.
Doctor, for now, for the scanner KB, we need to limit the numbers. For example, we
How?
have no day 45.
Yes. So how?
Yes. Now we have to use the catch between.
Well, now you would like to say that even if I give me this number, which is acceptable, this is not a good number.
Yes,
For-
it's
for-
not acceptable for.
So what should I do?
I have to use exception.
Well, there's different ways to deal with this, but now let's just try to understand. First of all, I just want you to realize that this code is not complete, because if somebody just does something like this, it breaks the whole program.
So we can use it by exception and we can use it by condition.
So first of all, now I need to have some exception handling here. So what kind of exception handling should I do?
And number format. Be surrounded by try catch.
Look here, this is what kind of exception it gives me. Input mismatch exception. So if you would like this kind of exception, when you have, if you give something wrong, not exactly what was meant, this is the kind of exception you would like to handle. Or if you don't want to care about it, just catch an exception, and it will catch all kinds of exceptions. Now, what should I do is that I should have some kind of try catch here, right? This line here might raise an exception. Or I can just take all these and put them into a try catch. How about that? What do you want to do? Each one with a try catch, or all of them with the one try catch?
Each one.
What's the advantage and disadvantage of each? If you put each one with a try catch,
You can start only gonna change the same one.
you may be able to ask them to, okay, give me another one. Just this one. If you stop for the whole thing a try catch,
Gonna start from
you have to start again from the whole thing, because you don't know which one raised the exception. So you want to have more control, you put them one by one. So, but now let's just take one by one for the fun and see this is thing. And look, something really nice. I did not expect NetBeans to do it for you, but it did it. Did you pay attention to this declaration? The declaration was like this, and I wanted to include it in a try catch, but then while doing so, NetBeans just took the declaration out of the try catch. Why? Because if I don't have outside and I have int day, you see here? Because now this day is only known inside here, outside the day is not known, and then you cannot use it later, because it becomes just a local variable to the try. Now, by doing it this way, this is declared inside this block, so it's going to be known all over the block. So that's why it's very important that this day and month and it also initializes them, so you can show that they have an initial value, and year, whatever. So you can do something like this. Now, what happens if you try and you catch an exception? You want to do something, then we're going to say, okay, what happens if there's an exception?
So the user trying.
We ask him to enter again. Like, let's copy this, and then as out error, try again, right? And then something like this, right? What if I run? It gives me
Should you make a loop?
what happened?
You have to put a limit.
Because let me show you what happened. I put a D. The D is wrong. It enters the D and then error, try again, and then it gives another. It's like this, it's still there, which means the D stays there. So even if you try to read another time, it's kept in the memory. There's a small trick that you can do. No, just to read line. KB, why is not
So that's mean refresh.
some kind? Read something, read whatever it's in the keyboard. Just type it, read, take it, and then throw it, because I'm not saving it anywhere. But why is it not KB dot? There's also this reset, which is, I think it's the same thing. Let's try this reset. Now if I type D, no, the reset did not work. So I know that I tried it with this read line. or next line, not read line, next line. Next line means it reads everything. D, error, try again, but it gives me the time to try something else. Because if you don't do this next line, what was entered stays in the memory, and it tries again with this next int. It will try again, and then it still has this invalid number in the memory, so it's going to raise the exception again. But with this next line here, what it does, it just takes what's in the memory and throw it, and then do it again.
What if we write D again?
Well, that's another point. Now it just waits for me to enter a number. If I enter a good number, it's going to move on and enter the month, right? But what if I doesn't enter a good number? Like, for example, the first time I put a D, second time a D again. You look surprised. But because this here can also throw an exception again. So should I also put a try catch? Well, you can put a try catch. It's possible to have a try inside of a catch. But the only problem is that you cannot name E, because E already exists here, so you can have to name it EX or EX1 or E1 or E2, blah blah blah, whatever. And then inside here you can just do the same thing. But again, how much you just add things, you just have.
Okay, if I add it 2 times now, it will throw it and
it will just catch it, and then if you do it again,
do it again.
it will do, yes.
Yes, I need to do
So you have to do a lot of meetups. So you need to kind of find some kind of loop. Yes.
If else and loop.
Sorry.
If else and loop.
What do you mean if else and loop? I cannot just type if else and loop. Just okay.
A loop inside of it.
Okay, tell me. So what should I do?
This is the idea.
You just throw the idea and let everybody think about it and find the solution.
Yeah, you can
Thank you
use
very
it
much.
as a loop.
Someone catch it. You just try the idea and then someone have a catch.
Maybe we put a loop in the catch, and if it's letter or above the numbers you want, it will restart again.
How? How to make it restart again?
How are you using the loop?
Which loop? When the loop starts?
In the inside the catch.
Inside the catch, okay? Inside the catch we have a loop. What's the loop?
Loop. Inside the loop.
Loop? Okay, here's the loop. Loop.
Sorry, while.
While. While what?
While day
There is a. So yes.
We use it as a loop inside the catch, for example, for loop,
Yes.
and we do it the EX as a
For loop.
yes.
For. Starting from 0
Yeah,
until.
start from
Yeah. No, the for loop. The for loop, if you know exactly how many times you're going to repeat. So the for loop is not really the option, because you don't know exactly how many times you're going to be repeating. So the while loop might look closer to what we might want than the for loop. Yes. Yes. If.
If it's text.
How do you know that if it's a text? You just know that there was something invalid that was given to us, and it's not even inside of the day. It's somewhere. So what do you want? How do you would like to get it to do with it? How? If what? What would be the condition?
less than 1.
The day.
Less than 1? What do you mean less than 1? What is less than 1?
No, if it's a text, how can I?
How can you say that if it's a text? Well, this is something that might give you put us into more complications. I don't want to get into that. Use it instance of, and
If day is less than 1,
if day is less than 1, and
not this and,
sorry, yeah,
I guess.
and the day
is above
greater than 31, error, something like that. There's a problem, but your problem here is that the day, when it reaches here, the day was not initialized yet, because this line generated the exception. But among this line has two parts. Give me what's inside from the keyboard and save it inside of the variable. Save it inside of the variable is not a big deal. If everything is okay, you give me a number, put it there. That's not the one that is going to generate the exception. The one which might generate the exception is this. Give me a number from the keyboard. So what if the user does not enter the number? Then this part is going to generate something. Then you test in the number, the day, what's inside of it, and then we haven't even received anything from inside of it. So what's inside of it actually is 0. So it's going to always be true there. Yes, you want to say something, Talo?
Can we use do while?
Can we use do while? Yes, we can use do while. Do what? While what?
I mean, to handle this.
Yes, what kind of do while? Do.
I think if there is any any string,
Yes.
we will use the exception, right?
Yes. So while what?
Well,
You're almost there.
well, it's a number.
While it's a number. What do you mean while it's a number?
String,
Okay.
we will come again.
Well, it's a string. What do you say with string?
Like,
Well,
if the day
You were there. If the day
not equal,
not equal
Integer.
integer. What do you mean integer? Like this? What is the integer? It's a class. Oh, you mean if it's not a number? Oh,
We have to put it as the variable of the day. We give it a.
how about this?
I was about to.
It was about. Alhamdulillah. I took it from your tongue. Alhamdulillah. You just tried it and then I caught it. Do you think that this will work? Maybe. Who knows? Allah alam. Look, they has 0 inside of it. If there was an exception, they still have 0, right? And then what is going to happen is that it's going to tell me, okay, flush this, try again. If even this thing here, this whatever, I can just do it like this. I don't need even to do this, because when he tries again, what happens is that when I say try again, this will come back here, and the day is going to be, is it equal to 0? Yes. Then go up and start again. Try again the day. If there's a problem, okay, catch it and then ask him to try again. If there's no problem, well, then you get out. If the day is a value which is not equal to 0, then it's going to go out of the loop, because this is going to repeat. As long as this is true, it's going to repeat. Or you can even make it better. If this is less than 1, or if the day is greater than 31, which means this is not okay, I'm just going to ask him to try again. Even if the number is correct, he's going to ask him to try again. But this, to make it better, I'm just going to put this playing in the loop as well.
But we're trying to solve the text problem.
Do you think that this is not solved here, for example? I think this is solved. So if, for example, you try here, displays, and I'm entering a text in here. Do you think that the text is stored inside of the day? No, it can't, because the text is a text. It cannot be stored inside of an int. So this generates an exception, and that exception is going to be caught here. It's going to clear whatever was there, but the day, did it change? The day was 0, it stayed 0. Is 0 less than 1? Yes. And because this is an OR, one of them saying yes means that everything is true. So I'm going to go back and try again, enter a day. Let's try. So let's put some day, try again. Whatever you put, error, try again. even if you put something, a big number, it doesn't say error, but because we did not mention it, we just try again. So unless you put some numbers that are respecting this condition, then we can do something like that.
And now we have to put a condition for the month.
Yes. So basically, the hardest when to find one of them. When you find one, you will find the rest with the copy and paste. And then enter a month or the month. And the year. Of course, this should be updated. This is month, and the month is between 1 and 12. So if it's greater than 12, it's not acceptable. It should be month. And then this is the year. Yes, sorry. Yeah, if it's less than, that means we need to get out. What we put in the condition here is what make it repeat. 1,000, 3,000. From between 1 and 3,000. This is what we did. Between 1 and 3,000 inclusive, which means greater than that or less than that is going to not to be accepted. And then we're doing something like this. So now we just send in the values, whatever. But is it still running? Okay. So now if we run it again, onto the day, 12, enter the month, error, try again, and then I put a number, okay, and then a year, the year 11, not acceptable, 11 and 1001, it's acceptable, so it's going to show me this is the date. But we haven't even started using our custom made exceptions, because here it says we wanted to use the day exception, the year exception, the month exception, and this is what we're going to be doing in next class, inshallah, because it's 2:30. But up to here, is it okay with this try catch and make them in a loop and try to find a way how to catch multiple exceptions? And the new thing for you as well is this thing. I had a lot of problems before I found this kind of thing, because it didn't make sense. The first time it reads a mistake, it keeps the mistake somewhere in the memory. So you have to do some kind of like hack in order to get things from the memory out. Because normally this next line, if you remember, next line has a specific usage. I'm using next line to get what? The string of the whole line. Because there's kb.next, which is going to give me the first word, or word by word, and next line give me the whole line. So that's the next line is taking everything that was entered, and because I'm not putting it anywhere, I could have done something like this. But I don't care. I don't need to memorize this next line. I don't care about it. And that's why it gives me something and just throw it. It's like taking this number and not saving it. But of course I need to save the number, that's why I'm saving it. But this next line I don't need it, because there was an exception. That means some numbers, some letters were entered not correctly. I need to flush them, to take them out. Okay?
Even if you use next double.
Yeah, well, you can use next double and do nothing with it, which means you're taking some numbers from the keyboard and then you're not saving them.
Can we make it 0?
Here? Which one is 0?
You mean remove next line and make the day 0?
Yes, but still the kb is still not working. Okay, let's try that. Day is equal to 0. And let me remove this and see what would be the result. Let's run. Until the day, I'm putting like a wrong letter. And this is an infinite loop because it tries to read, but still the D, whatever the F, whatever the type, is still in the memory as a key B next int, and it tries to put it again in D, but it can't. It tries to put it in again, it can't, and so on. So this is why this next line will just flush, stop the program from keeping that wrong letter, that letter, that wrong input that I gave, and it will just allow me to to keep going and ask again.
If we remove the key from here, the line from here,
This one,
yes, it's gonna have the same effect just like
the infinite loop.
infinite loop.
Yes, this way, the way we did it. Yes, because if we just do this the same thing. Because actually the day was already 0, so it's going to keep being 0. Notice it's still going down, down, down for so much. Yes. So many times it tried. So that's why it's very important to have this KB.next line, which whenever there's a mistake, it's just flush it from the memory, flush it out of the memory. That was the problem.